this is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I am going to get my house ready for an engine swap because if you didn't know, I blew up my engine doing some pulls and I need a new engine. So I've already got an engine lined up. It's in a city near me and I'll be able to pick it up. I told them, all right, I've got your money. It's $250 for an engine and transmission, which is the most I've ever paid for an engine and transmission for one of my cars. But anyways, he's pulling it out of a car for me, which is sick. He's got a couple days to do it. I'm like, I need this done quick. Like, I'll give you what you want. He wanted $250. He actually wanted $600. I only wanted to give him $200. Anyways, we met in the middle for $50 for him to pull it out. Saves me some time. In the meantime, I can pull out the engine in the front. So I blew up the front engine in the mx3 that is twin engine, and I need it fixed. I definitely need it fixed. So I've got a good donor. It's already got good compression. It's 185 across the board for all 6 pistons and cylinders, so we're good there. So all I got to do is get more tools from my shop. I need my engine hoist, I need a crowbar to get the axles out, I need as much as I can. The only thing that's going to suck about doing this swap is that I don't have an impact to take off my axle nuts. So that is going to be tricky. I'm probably going to have to get my girlfriend to hold the brakes on in the car while I go with a breaker bar and get them off, which won't be fun, but I'll be learning, that's for sure. Maybe I'll learn my lesson to turn down my boost controller before I do a pull. Anyways, off to the shop. I'm going to load everything up and we're going to go from there. Got my girlfriend backing her in for me. She drove the truck here. All right, I've got my engine hoist, I've got my pump jacks because I need 2 to pick up the front of the car, and I've also got a full set of sockets, a crowbar to get the axles out, and a funnel to put oil in. That's basically all I need. I put some oil in the back of the truck, and now we're going to put the jack in and hopefully everything fits. I got my engine hoist, I got my oil, I got my creeper, I got pretty much everything I need. I got my other jack. I think I'm gonna take the car off the trailer to drop the engine down. That's the way I've been doing it, and honestly I'm most comfortable with it. And I would wanted to do it on the trailer, but I don't think I'll be able to have as much room getting the power steering pump off of the engine, because now I have power steering to deal with. And going up is a lot harder than going down with the power steering, because I can drop the engine a bit and there's slack in because the wires go up, and then when I go down with the engine there's slack, so then I can undo the actual pump off the engine, leave it hooked up so no fluid comes out because I don't want fluid everywhere, and then continue to drop the engine. But if I go up, I have to basically get the pump off without moving the engine at all, and it's a lot harder to do that with the engine in there because there's only this much room in between the frame rails. I kind of figured out a way to get the axle nuts off easy. Just take off the center cap here. I've never done it this way, and then I'm just gonna de-torque them from there. So basically, this is my new shop for now. It's just my carport, and I'm gonna be sending it from here on. So I got my creeper, all my tools at the front of my car now. I turned the car around because I had no light. Once the car was facing this way, and it was like kind of in the afternoon, there was no light because I have my door covered there, so working back here would suck. You can tell there's no lighting, and over here, much more lighting. So I'm gonna get right to it. Hood, fenders, bumper off. Then I'm gonna jack it up, get all the oils out, and get the shifter off, and unbolt the cross member, and then move on to the wiring, get the wiring off, and then throttle cable, stupid simple stuff like that, then drop it out. I'm gonna try and keep the tranny axles inside of the transmission because I don't have any tranny fluid, and I'm not going to the store. Nope, I refuse. So I'm gonna try and drop it with the axles in the transmission so I can keep the fluid inside. Whenever I'm pulling the engine out of the front of the car, I always take the hood, fenders, and bumper off. Then I don't have to worry about scratching the car at all. Engine bay isn't too big of a deal. Obviously, I minimize it to the best of my abilities. But now I'm just taking off everything from the top that the car's down, because once I'm ready and have everything at the top undone, like I'm going to take off the turbo and everything, and I'll put the car up. And once the car's up, I will just have to do everything underneath, and then it'll be done from then on, because I don't want to have to go up, down, and you just got to do it comfortably. So right now I'm comfortable working on the engine from the top with the car down. And then once everything's done, jack it up, get everything done from the bottom. Alright, turbo's off, all my wiring's off, all that good stuff. Almost ready to come out, except for axles and everything needed taken off the hubs. But yeah, so looked in there and there's quite a bit of metal in there. That's not usually a good thing for your turbo. So my turbo might be absolutely blown. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take off the hot side and check that out. It feels good when you spin it. So I might have gotten lucky, but I'm not sure. I would definitely have to check, that's for sure. All right, the hot side is off on my downpipe, and it's looking fine. I might have gotten really lucky. Like, you can clearly see that it's been hit by multiple pieces of steel. I might have been very lucky. I ordered a turbo anyways. It's always good to have one on the shelf, but I honestly think this turbo is going to be okay, which I'm super stoked about. I'm going to have to go to my shop and compare a good hot side to this one, and I'll make a decision if I'm going to reuse that. I literally have nothing to drain my coolant, and my coolant is a base of water. So literally all it is water. So I'm gonna drain it into a cooler because I literally have nothing else here at my house. So tis what it is. Oh my god, that's disgusting. I always strap up the tranny to where it's being yanked out from, due to it'll drop because it's not actually in the center where it is being pulled up on, so it makes it a lot easier to get it down. I can't find a 17 socket that actually fits on top of a 1/2-inch drive. Literally nothing I could find is gonna work for me, so I guess I'm taking all the undercarriage bolts off and subframe bolts off by hand. Fun. I'm pretty much at the last few things before I get to actually pull it out. I'm gonna be dropping it down and then picking the car up, so then I can drag it on the ground out from beneath. Sorry about the lighting, but now I've got to go in here and get off my belt for my power steering. And the reason why I'm doing that after I lower it down a bit is now I can actually access it. So just leave everything connected and then drop it down just a touch, Get everything off. When the engine's really close to something on both sides, I'll loosen the actual hydraulic cylinder on the jack and just loosen a little bit, and then I can walk away and it's just going down very, 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 very slowly, almost barely moving, and then I can make adjustments by myself. So I don't have to have two people in saying, oh yeah, go down or whatever. I just open it a bit, so it's like moving down like a millimeter like every second, and then I can just hold it in the position I want it. See how the car's just going down very slowly? I'm not even at the cylinder. It's just that I just loosen it a little bit, then I can go check, make sure things. I was making sure my car wasn't hitting my girlfriend's car, and it did, so that was fun, but as my coolant leaks all over the place, which is just water, thankfully. Here's the block that has a hole in it. She really exploded. That's pretty cool. Oh damn, did it even wreck my oil pan? I'm not sure. But everything's fixable, especially if it's metal. The oil pan's metal, so yeah, but I can literally stick my fingers in here. It just busted this right out. So what probably happened was a rod bent and then hit the case here and completely stopped the engine from spinning, and then just started breaking everything. Perfect. All I need is a new engine. I've never really taken the transmission out without taking the axles off. I usually just pull the axles off and it's much easier in and out, but I don't really have a choice because I don't have any fluid for my tranny. So once you take the axles out, all the fluid will drain. So you might as well just drain it all. But I have fairly new fluid in there, just the dyno and the couple pulls on the street that it had ran on. So I'm just gonna leave that in there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put this all back together with the new engine on it. I don't have the new engine yet, but I'm gonna have to put it back in, and it is definitely harder to get in and out. It was hard to get out. I've scratched all this stuff up a bit, but that's not a big deal. So yeah, the turbo's looking good. I think everything's just gonna survive other than the engine. It's pretty funny how blew apart it got. But yeah, the next steps for me are going to be taking the intake off, the valve covers, all that stuff needs to go into the other engine. Tranny needs to come off, clutch needs to come off, flywheel needs to come off, engine mounts, tranny mounts, headers, my turbo manifolds, everything. All that needs to come off. All my coolants needs to come off. Like all these pipes I've designed to fit in here, and this is attached to everything, so I left this one on, and I'm just gonna take all this shit off and then put it on to the new engine. So I've got lots to do, but I'm kind of debating doing that once I get the engine, because if I leave it overnight, I might have a rat go in here and like literally be inside of my intake or something, and then I put it onto the other engine and then could have a rat inside. So I don't know, we'll see what I decide, how motivated I am and everything. I don't know if I'm just making excuses to not do anything right now because I don't have the engine for another like 3 or 4 days. I'm just way ahead of the game so far, so no point in really going too far ahead, or I'll have my entire house just torn and have engine parts all over the place. All right, that's pretty much it for this episode. In the next episode, I will be taking the transmission off, taking the valve covers off, intake, all that. But I gotta wait, or I'll have parts everywhere and it's all exposed. So, yeah. All right, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. This is usually fairly frightening.